So the Haggadah goes on to say, Afilu Kulanu Chachamim, Kulanu Nevoinim, Kulanu Skenim, Kulanu Yodim Esatara, Mitzvah L'Saper, Chamar L'Saper, Tziyasrai Ma'ezah Meshubach. And even if we're all wise, we're all understanding, we're all elders, we all know the Torah, it is still a mitzvah for us to count the Exodus, say it over, and he who says it over with as much detail and as much length as he can, that is praiseworthy. So we have to understand this halacha, right, that even if you know ahead of time everything that you're going to say, or what someone else is going to say, and there's going to be absolutely no new information added, you still have to recount the Exodus. Why? We also have to understand, what the four categories were of knowledge that were enumerated over here: Chachamim, Nevoinim, Skenim, Yodim Esatera, right? Wisdom, understanding, elders, and knowing of the Torah. So, wisdom, Chachamim. So Rashi says in Chumash that a Chacham is someone who gathers information. Right? A Chacham is someone that absorbs information, like the Mishnah says in others, Ezu Chacham halomid mikol adam. He who is wise, he who learns from anyone he can, just absorbs information. So even if we are Chachamim, right, we know all the information, all the data about Exodus, right? Still, we have to say it over anyway. But you might think that the purpose of saying over the Exodus anyway on Seder night, even though you have all the information, is because maybe you have the information, but you don't have a deep understanding of it. So the Baal HaGadah goes, Kulanu Nevoinim, even if we all have understanding. Understanding means that I could take information and build on it. Mevin davar mitoch davar. Understanding is to derive new ideas based on old ideas. Right, so you might think, all right, you have information, but you don't have understanding, and there's so much more that could be pulled out of that information with understanding, and recounting the Exodus will give you that extra dimension of understanding. So the Baal HaGadah says, no, right, even if you have understanding, you still have to say over the Haggadah anyway. So you might think, well, because saying it over makes it real, right? Because if you have it as wisdom and understanding, these two different aspects that we explained, it's still just theoretical. But if you say it over, it becomes like experience. So that's what the Baal HaGadah adds. Kulanu skenim, we're all elders. What's an elder? The wisdom of the elders comes because he's had a life full of experience. That's the wisdom that the elders have. It's not from books. The unique wisdom that is attributed to being elders is that they've experienced a lot. So a person would say, I've been through a lot in my life. I know what it means to suffer. I know what it means to be liberated from suffering. I've experienced it. And God forbid, the elders of our generation, many of them are Holocaust survivors. So they know from experience, what it means to be enslaved and what it means to be liberated. So you might think that they don't have to say over the Haggadah because they have these concepts in experience also. They've had it in their experience. So the Baal HaGadah says, no, they still have to say over the Haggadah because it's not about wisdom, it's not about understanding, it's not about experience or make it experiential, it's something higher than that. Well, you might think, okay, so the higher level is because the Torah has infinite depth to it and levels of purity and spirituality that are above physical experience and physical wisdom and understanding. And it's the purpose of recounting the Exodus is that there's more messages that the Torah has for us when we say over the psukim of the Exodus and we say over the midrash of the Exodus. So it's all about getting the Torah dimension, which is above where human intelligence reaches, be it through wisdom, be it through understanding, be it through experience. So the Baal HaGadah says, no, even if Kulanu Yodim Esatera, we know all the Chazals that we're going to say over at the Seder night. We know all the Zayars, we know all the Ariya Kadishes, we know everything that the Torah has to say about Exodus. If you know all that also, you have the Torah dimension of it, that's even above wisdom, understanding, and experience, still you have to say over the Exodus. So this makes the question even much greater. Why? If you have all these different levels of understanding and experience and even a spiritual relationship to it already, because you have everything that the Torah has to say about it, you have that already in you. So why do you have to speak it out? So this goes back to what we've already said in a few sessions prior, that Seder night is about not reliving in a way of commemorating, but reliving because it's happening all over again, reliving the new order that God brought into the universe with the Exodus. As we explained many times before, right? The world until the Exodus was running in a way that was not according to God's original plan for creation. People were not God conscious, people were not learning Torah, people were not doing mitzvahs, and the world was not on a track of progressing towards Mashiach and towards Olam Haba. And the order that the world got as a result of the Exodus, that's the world order as God envisioned it. That's the world order of the Torah. On Seder night, that order re-enters the world. There's a renewal of the order on that night, and speaking it out, as the Zohar says, when we speak out the Exodus, we bring about all the divine lights that were there, all the divine energies that were there at the time of the Exodus. They come to our Seder table. They shine again in the Jewish people through telling over the story of the Exodus. So in the spiritual dimensions, we make the Exodus happen again. It's happening at Seder night. It's happening at our Seder table. This din of Laharos Asro Kilu Yatsutzayim, present yourself, look at yourself as if you yourself left Egypt. It's not about fooling yourself and pretending you were there. It's really happening to you Seder night. And the way you make it happen to you, make everything that happened to our forefathers happen again on this night. And on this night we're reinforcing the Torah order on the universe. Just like it came into the universe by the original Exodus, it comes into the universe in a more intense way each Seder night, each year. The way we make it happen is by telling over the Exodus. As you're telling it over, you're making it happen. Right? Just like the mind reaches dimensions above the physical, and speech converts thoughts into words that, the words fill the space of the physical world. Each Seder night, each year, we make the Exodus happen all over again. All those divine lights shine again and add themselves to the divine lights that shone at the time of the Exodus and that have shined every Seder night since the Exodus. We bring it in by recounting the story of the Exodus, and it's done by speech because, like we may have mentioned, the thoughts reach way above where the physical realm is, and speech is to convert thoughts into sound that fills the space of the physical world. That by speaking it out, we're bringing these high concepts into the world. So we're bringing down these divine lights of the Exodus by saying over the story of the Exodus Seder night. So saying over the story of the Exodus is not about imparting information or reminding ourselves about information. It's about making the Exodus happen all over again. That's what we're doing on Seder night. And that's what the Haggadah goes on to say, that the story of all the Tanoim that were sitting together in their Seder in Bnei Brak, and these were people who were for sure wise and had understanding, and they were elders and they knew the whole Torah, and so they spent the whole night talking about, because the whole night is the opportune time to make the Exodus happen again. Because when we talk about the Exodus the rest of the year, it doesn't make the Exodus happen all over again. It's just learning about the Exodus. But on Seder night, you talk about the Exodus, you make the Exodus happen all over again. You bring that order into the universe again. And it adds itself to how it was brought in the Seder night before, and the Seder night before, all the way back to the original Exodus. I'll just add that Rav Kook points out that the fact that their Seder was in Bnei Brak That's just it's not just a side point to fill space in the Haggadah. He quotes a Gemara that says that where the Tanoim witnessed the blessing of a land filled with milk and honey was in Bnei Brak. Bnei Brak was a place that had tremendous bounty over there. The livestock gave a tremendous amount of milk, and there was a tremendous amount of honey, and that's the Eretz Zavas Chalav Udvash. Bnei Brak was like the ideal place to realize the contrast of having been in Egypt, in a foreign land, being taken to the land of Israel, which is the land of milk and honey. So that's the significance of what is the Seder was in Bnei Brak. It accentuates the difference between the Eretz Zavas Chalav Udvash, where God took us to, as opposed to the terrible place we were coming from.